Good morning, um, and welcome back. It is patch 25.06 notes detected. Please read for more details. We are going to go into patch notes for 25.06. In this patch, they got a lot of gameplay changes. They're changing a couple different characters, most notably being Neferi, Singed, and Gwen. They're changing how they not penalize, what happens with cheaters and new things for that. And your shop is back. Can't wait to get back in there and see what's on sale for me specifically. So, getting right into it, Vanguard LP refunds and new ban notifications. That, you know, they just want you to know when a cheater is reported and banned. Um, Other than that, not much else to say about this. Champion Mastery, I'm not going to put a picture of this one, but they're still tweaking the Mastery icon, doing some audio texture changes, all that fun stuff. They are not done with that. I already said your shop. So on to the champions. Honestly, I'm gonna try to go quicker today because I actually read through this. I'm a day late. I think it's only fair. Caitlyn's W headshot and R damage is decreased. Only no, not only the W headshots are decreased by their base and percentage, but the headshot is only decreased by the base. Corgi has his base armor decreased. Darius has his passive to monsters decrease. Passive damage to monsters decrease. They've been seeing him too much in the jungle, so yeah. Draven, his passive bonus uh when Draven kills six thing. I think it's just any six kills, he'll get two more bonus stacks on his passive, which I guess is doing too much for the snowballing of higher elos. Ezreal's armor growth is decreased. Fiora Q mana cost is decreased from. I'm pretty sure it's just 20 at all ranks. Yeah, I'm not pretty sure. I'm 100% sure. Garen, his E damage on critical strikes is decreased from 175 to 150%. Gwen, all of her abilities are adjusted. I will actually talk about this. Health growth is decreased and base health is increased. Her passive damage is decreased by 0.05% per 100 AP. Damage to monsters modifier is decreased by 5 at its base. So I'm not really sure. They're just decreasing damage. In her passive, her Q is getting a damage increase for a final snip damage. Just base damage increased. And a base damage increase for the maximum damage as well, just the base. Her W is losing bonus resistance later, but getting more earlier. So 25 at all ranks plus a 5% is what's new. Onto her E, cooldown is reduced by a lot, even. At what it used to be at its third rank was 12 seconds. Its first rank is 12 seconds now, so pretty big. Cooldown refund is only at 50% at all ranks, so it's better earlier, drops off later. On hit damage is gonna be ranking up from 12 to 20, which is a 5% buff at max. So that's pretty good. Her R damage per needle is increased by. Oh no, it's decreased by base and percent. Initial slow is staying at 60% at all ranks, and reduced slow is staying at 25% at all ranks. So just staying at its max, regardless of your rank. Um, so I'm not really sure what this is supposed to do. She was supposed to lightly scale in AP fighting, but she's been too close to a hyper scaler, so I guess this is a way to try to stop that. On to Jarvan. His Q damage is increased, base and percent, which is that's something. Jin's passive scaling is increased. Um, I'm not really sure how they're doing all this. It's a little weird, but Jin isn't strong enough. He's gonna get stronger. That's all they want. Jinx, her R damage is decreased. It looks like by base and percent, not by the missing health, not by the target's missing health though. So that's something. Kai'Sa's base armor increased, base health regen increased, and R cooldown decreased. So just really really good buffs. More armor, more health regen, and ultimate is cast fast or more frequently, I should say, not faster. That doesn't make any sense. Karma, her Q base damage is decreased, just the base, not by a whole lot, but I think it's like 10 at every rank, which isn't that much, I think. Uh, Kha'Zix, passive and E damage increased. It's by base and percent. Uh, his E is only by percent. Lilia E cooldown decreased, but the scaling is increased, so just another good buff. You're going to see more E's rolling around. From 14 to 12 seconds and from 50% AP to 60, so not crazy, but it is a change. Lucian, his E cooldown is decreased. They think he's underpowered, so it's good to have a buff in that kind of scape. Master Yi, armor growth decreased. Q critical strike damage increased. Sorry about that. So wow, more damage on his Q is awesome, but less armor doesn't really matter when you're gonna be able to press Q and hit him like that. So Nefiri, on to Nefiri. They changed like a weird mid scope. They changed her W and her R ability. Her E was untouched. Basically, they're giving her less health and armor, more damage and AD growth for her. Her pack will be larger from level 9. You'll have 3, and that's max. But now you can go up to um, 5 at level 15. So just getting a 2 plus like passive minions is something. They'll get less damage, less health growth, less armor and MR growth. They'll take more AoE damage by percent. They have reduced damage from towers from 25 to 50. And packmates now deal 165% to monsters. So, putting back some jungle power into this because I'm pretty sure that's new. Um, and the packmate taunt duration, I don't really know what that is. Never heard of that. Her Q is getting a 20% damage to minions buff. W, the Call of the Pact. Neferi and her packmate gain 1 second of targetability on cast. She gets just 20% AD. That just base. That doesn't change. It doesn't do anything per level. She gets 2 extra pack mates for this. That's That's it. No changing on that either. For a W ability, which is she kind of just gets damage and gets some dogs. Buff lasts from 15 to 5 seconds, so it's a lot shorter. Um, Bonus movement speed is going down by a whole lot, but for a lot, like a second longer, not a lot longer. It's not a whole lot. Um, and it's now granted on cast, so it won't keep you locked in place, I would assume. Mana cost goes down, and it no longer grants Neferi a shield, a pulse of vision, and will no longer reset the ability's buff on takedown. So it's basically just a little buff, make her so she can fight. And her R, which is where she jumps on a target, um, if she scores a takedown within 7 seconds, she reveals nearby enemies and can recast this ability once. The second cast grants her a shield for 3 seconds. Cooldown is definitely increased from it's 20 seconds to ult timers, which makes sense. Mana cooldown, mana cooldown. What kind of mana cost is increased to 100, just base. Range goes from its scaling to 900, only 900. Damage is getting a huge buff, 150 to start at level 6, and 120% bonus AD, and plus 10% per pack mate. So press W and then R for an extra 20% damage, which is kind of a lot, honestly. Especially when you start with, what, 3? Where is that? When you start with, no, you'll have 2. So, oh wait, no, yeah, no, you'll just still have 2. By the time your first ultimate should go around, it's only 40% for this per pack mate. This ability is no longer blockable, so it can't be like somebody can't stand in the way of you. Obviously, it's an ult. You shouldn't be able to block that. And this ability can no longer be cast on minions, which that would be funny if it could be. So Neferi, can't wait to see him in game. It's a huge difference changing her abilities around like that. But can't wait to see it. She's not just jumping on one person over and over and using her buff in major team fights, which I don't know. That'll make her a little harder to use, but I think it makes sense because Zed does the same thing where, he's able to move around a lot, but his damage only comes from his R, doubling his damage basically. Okay, so on to Poppy. Q damage to monsters is increased. They feel her jungle hasn't been has been suffering, even though they've been touching her top and support roles. Singed. His base attack speed is increased. Q, his poison trail, now kills minions if another minion is attacking it. So you won't lose minions if you're just like in lane farming. It um makes it a lot easier to farm instead of like forcing yourself to be pushed into the enemy and not even getting all your minions because poison used to do that. Um, if an ally is nearby though, and they try to take your minions, that will count towards them. It won't give it to Singe. That's just not how that works. E, uh, E scaling is decreased. Do I know why they're doing that? No, it's only by a 5% AP, so whatever. Smolder is W damage increase, E damage increase, and R cooldown decrease. Honestly, I might play a little bit more Smolder because of this, because oh my goodness, I knew he was weak, but I didn't know he was this weak, where 3 of his abilities need to be buffed. Um, W damage is base damage increased, and the explosion is base and bonus AD, and it has a 80% AP. Oh no no no! I'm just being. I'm reading the glob damage, not the explosion damage for the differences. But yeah, base and bonus AD is different or increased. I shouldn't just say different. That's stupid. His Smolder's E damage per bolt is increased by base and percent, and R is cooldown reduced. Instead of just having 120 at every rank, it goes down to 100. On to Twisted Fate. His base armor is increased. I haven't seen this character in a little bit. I won't lie. I've only seen him in arena. Xin Zhao, his Q damage is increased by base. Sorry, not Yorick's E damage to monsters is decreased, again, hitting his jungle because they don't like him. They really don't like this Yorick jungle. You know, it was at 300 at base, which is kind of crazy because other junglers it scales up with their uh, with their rank in the ability. So it was just awesome. You can max Q and then max W as Yorick jungler. You didn't need to ever really upgrade the E unless you're ganking a whole lot, which I mean upgrade W once and then max E, but now you need to max E second. Onto the items. Some of these I didn't even know were happening, but the Cyrilda's Grudge first, armor penetration going up by 5% and ability haste going down by 5 is. I might play more Yorick and maybe mid lane. I think I might play more mid lane Yorick. Warmogs is getting a cost decrease, but a gain bonus health equal to 12% of bonus health from items. So just a buff. It they're saying it ended up on a weaker side than they were expecting. So awesome, honestly. So now I'm just gonna run through the rest of these. I'm gonna have pictures. I hope I'm able to put them up long enough. But anti-lane swap, they're changing some of this, given their changes a pullback because obviously they've been too strong. Some people have noticed. Bounties are getting detected. Um, Champion bounties are getting detected a whole lot earlier, and bounty suppression by lead severity is getting decreased and checked less. Otacon. Increase Otacon form threshold by 10%, so you'll see more of the harder version of Otacon. Arena, there is a few patches. Character changes that are happening are Rise, Swain, Zoe, Soraka, Yumi, Evelyn, Cho'Gath, Skarner, and Callista. I think Callista's is funny because the speed cap is at 10, but as some people have seen, you can't move if you're at max attack speed. So they cut it down and you get bonus damage for every 4% she has exceeded the max speed cap, attack speed cap, which is really funny because now she's allowed to move after billing all that attack speed. um, Guest of honor changes are Darius, Kled, Samira, Sion, Vladimir. I like Vladimir's because it can now grant chauffeur, which is everybody getting that doesn't really make sense. I think it's kind of funny. And Elise augments. Cursed augments are I think I oh no, there's just adjustments. I'm gonna put the picture up. I'm not even gonna read it. And normal augments, cursed augments are getting changed, and there's a few normal augments being transmute, prismatic egg, firefox damage, and fruits of your labor. I tried to use prismatic egg the other day, and bro, I could not get a single kill. It might have been the character I was playing, but god damn, I could not use that one. I want to see what's in it. I haven't seen anybody use this one yet. I want to know. Okay, so stat anvils are getting changed. AP shard champions that do not have an AP ratio will no longer be offered this, which is that's pretty cool. I won't lie. Um, item differences. I'm just gonna put a picture. Swift play. They're changing buff, Baron buff, scaling. I accidentally pressed the space bar. It scrolled down a little. Baron buff now scales up to 15 to 30 minutes. Elder buff now scales, doing the same. Mythic shop update. Excuse me. Mm. And then onto the skins. There's not really much. Did you know there's an issue that has been fixed this patch that caused Fiddlestick Effigy to trigger lane swap detection? Um, I didn't know that. I think that's really funny. Man, I just want a ward for my laner. I'm just gonna help him out. Nah, you're actually ruining our economy here, buddy. I think I took a picture of the arena bug fixes and quality of life because that's current. Like people are gonna look out for these um real things going on, and that's everything. Thank you for watching, staying this far. It's much appreciated. Leave a like if you want to see more, and maybe go click on another video of mine. I'm honestly I haven't been uploading that much. I think it's been a minute. That's why I was late too because I felt bad. Either way, hope you enjoy the rest of your day and have a good one. Boom.